How's it, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of the rebooted Diverge podcast. This week, it's pretty much all about FNB Wines2Whales. The Chardonnay race gets underway tomorrow, and South Africa's best women's mountain bikers will be out on the trails from Lawrenceford to Benguela Cove to try to seize the title. And last opportunity for the mountain bikers to win a big race, win big prize money, and of course to please all those sponsors. Lots of media attention on Wines2Whales, but also because of the stacked field, really good and exciting racing. And I think the worthwhileness of winning a race where the competition is at its best in the country also is very important. Of course, Candice Lill and Tyler Jacobs are the favorites there. They won the race last year, but they're up against some stiff competition, as we discussed last week in the episode, or as I discussed last week in the episode. This week, got a little a quick chat with Tiffany Keep and Bianca Hall, two of the favorites, two of the maybe dark horses, because Bianca, of course, restarted mountain bike racing this year with Sani to see pretty much, and has been on a tear since then. And Tiff has been racing overseas, racing on the road overseas. She won the cycle tour back in March and has had her best ever year on the road. But coming back to mountain biking, where it kind of started for her, where her roots are, and such a powerful rider. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they can challenge the experience and class of Candice and the youthful exuberance of Tyler, who is still, I think, only 20. I don't think she's turned 21 yet. So yeah, that's going to be exciting to watch. Of course, the course at Wines2Whales this year follows the traditional route. So starting in Lawrenceford, first day 66 kilometers, 1,350 meters of climbing to Oak Valley, including the Gamto Pass portage, which is usually, if not the deciding feature, if there's a gap there already that sort of like stretches it, or if somebody's struggling there already, that is kind of where they start to not lose contact completely, but it hurts, and then they lose contact on the next climbs. After that water point 3 at the country club, after the A to Z trails, that sort of is often where the men's race splits. The women's race, we expect it to probably split before the Gamto Pass already. But you never know how competitive and how closely matched the teams will be this year. Stage 2 then is that day around Oak Valley and on the Paul Kluwer trails. Lots of new trails there, lots of rebuilding of bridges. The new Pofadder has been rebuilt as well. Apparently, it's absolutely spectacular. So that's another 66 kilometers a day, 1,250 meters of climbing. And then stage 3 with the all-new finish into Benguela Cove. The last 13 kilometers is absolutely brand new. And that day as well, 64 kilometers, 1,250 meters of climbing. So, fast, a tougher first day, and then a fast second and third stage. I think the stats normally lie a little bit. Stage 1, I think, definitely has more climbing than the other two by more than 100 meters. It certainly has the longest climbs as well. So stage 2 is more punchy, and then stage 3, as soon as you leave the Elgin Plateau and start dropping down Katpas in towards Bot River, you kind of feel like you've done the most of the climbing. There is that one climb after water point 2 up towards Grafsebos, which is quite a challenge, especially on tired legs if you've overdone the partying the night before. But shouldn't be a problem for the elite riders, of course, but for the everyday riders, that's always the one that hurts a little bit. And then once you get to the top of Grafsebos, cross over Cavedeskraal, then pretty much all downhill to the finish. So that's going to be very cool. But let's hear from Tiff and Bianca, and then after them, Sarah Hill sent me a voice note as well, explaining how her Wines2Whales race came together, and what Wines2Whales means to her and to the women's field to have the Chardonnay race, the women's only event at FNB Wines2Whales. Tiffany, tell us about Wines2Whales and what you're expecting this weekend alongside Bianca.
Yeah, very excited to be back at this race, especially with Yankee. It's been a minute since we have raced together on the mountain bike, but yeah, super stoked to be back at this race. It's always such a cool time of year, such an awesome race. So I think we're in for for a hectic few days of racing, but it will be a lot of fun, that's for sure. And I'm sure there'll be lots of laughs along the way.
And as well, last time you were on the mountain bike was pretty much this time last year as well. So
Yeah.
good to be back in amongst all the South Africans and seeing old faces as well.
Yeah, I know. It's been so lekker to be home. There's no place like home, really. And it's good to be back in the mountain bike scene. It's a bit more relaxed than the road scene. So, yeah, really looking forward to getting back on the trails in this race. There's some awesome trails we're going to ride. So it's going to be rad.
Bianca,
Yes.
tell us about being back racing and what can we expect from you this weekend?
Oh, flip. I don't know. It's I've actually done Wine2Whales once when it got rained out, so I've never actually finished one. So yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah, Tiff and I are gonna have a good time, I think. Yeah. Go till you blow.
Yeah, big time.
You're going to put some pressure on Candace.
Oh, I don't know. We'll try for like the first 5Ks, I think.
Yeah. We'll see how we go.
So I finished the Drylands Prince George 100 miler on Saturday, saying to the cameras that it was the final race of the season, which it was. And I woke up on Sunday morning to a phone call from Vera going, "Oh, please, will you fill in? Unfortunately, after Cape Pioneer, Danielle got a bit sick and she's just not going to be on form. And I think, thanks to this incredible ramp up that I've been doing in 2024, I'm competitive and the girls are seeing that again. So my expectations from this year's Wines2Whales is, well, let's go and race. Like, let's see where we can land up. I have a really great feeling that we are going to be quite competitive, especially in that top 3 space. And I've raced with Vera in the 2021 Absa Cape Epic. And so we do know each other. And she's not afraid to push me as hard as I can go. She knows how hard I can go. And I'm also very vocal. So if I am falling off the back or if I am suffering, like, I do let her know, which makes for a really strong partnership. Some of my friends already know that we're going to be racing together. And one of the first things they said was, "You two look really good on social media together," which made me laugh because it is true. Vera is an incredible teammate to every single person that she rides with. And I can't wait to kind of be her right-hand girl for Wines2Whales. And really, I wanted to say just a huge, huge thank you to the Infinity Insurance women's mountain bike team. They also have been keeping their eyes open, and for me to guest ride for this team is incredibly special. I used to race for this team back in 2019 when it was called Galileo Risk, and it kind of feels a little bit like coming home. So it's nice to know the managers. Teresa will be there as our soigneur. So I have my teamie back, and I think it's going to be just a wonderful weekend of good vibes. This is one of the only UCI events that have an entire weekend dedicated to the women. It's a huge celebration of women mountain biking in South Africa and the world. And what I really love about it is the exposure for all the brands out there. Gone are the days where lead motorbikes have to jump between the men and the women's teams. Helicopters don't just follow, the front group. Now we can finally get proper exposure of teams 1 all the way through to 10. And so every girl who puts a lot of work, a lot of hard work and sacrifice into preparing themselves for a massive epic series event can actually get their 5 seconds of fame and show their kids and their family that they did go out and do a ride like this. And that's kind of just from the racing scene, which is really, really nice. And even from having female commentators, and I'd love to see more female media girls out there on the trails. But we're growing the entire cycling industry with this race, not just growing the field of female mountain bikers. And from the other side of things, and it's actually also for us, but we don't have to worry so much now about the men's and I say men's, but it's not. It's like the amateur men. We don't have to worry so much about the amateur men like blowing through us like we see at the Cape Epic. We kind of get the trails to ourselves. And there is kind of this mutual respect where men they give us the trails, they give us the time, they celebrate the fact that we're there and we chose to be there at this particular event. And it really feels good to just have that kind of hospitality. The FNB Chill Zone does very much the same thing, where it's just filled with laughs and giggles and lots of war stories from the ladies, and the whole day is just filled with like high spirits. It's a pity there's no rugby finals or something happening this weekend, because it always ends up being quite a party, whether it's at the Chardonnay or the Pinotage or Shiraz. So yeah, it does a lot for mountain biking in South Africa, and I could think of so many reasons why, but those are the most important ones for now.
Thank you very much, Tiffany, Bianca, and Sarah. And then on the other side of the mountains at the moment, there's a little trail run on the go. Dryland have got their Dryland Traverse, which is always an absolute festival of running, but just generally a good care out there. That a fancy dress party on the Saturday night after stage 2 is always a great party. But today it all kicked off with a prologue, and got a little update from Landy and Christian Greyling, as well as Macy Pacey and Dan Jones, who Dan and Macy Marcel are running their first Dryland Traverses, and this was their initial impressions. Of course, the Greylings have been there before, haven't been back for 7 years, and they closed down the party last time they were there, so we'll see if they're able to match that kind of spirit on the dance floor as well as on the trails over the next 4 days.
So great to be back at Dryland Traverse. Yeah, we drove there today in an African taxi with some German athletes. They were wowed by the African nature. And then the best I've run through a cave, so that's so special. I mean,
yeah, I know. Dryland Traverse, a special race. We did it, I think, 7 years ago, and we said we had to come back, and we so far we're definitely not disappointed. Can't wait for the rest of the weekend. The highlight today, obviously, the Kango Caves, and then just running home to this beautiful place.
Yeah, so I guess we enjoyed the caves a lot. They were really, really cool. And then some fast downhills, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing terrain that we get to explore as well. You got the caves and then come out onto the road, hard downhill, and then straight into the mountains. It's just beautiful.
Thanks, Landy, Christian, Dan, and Marcel. But sorry for the terrible break in continuity here, but just got a late voice note from Dr. Nicola Freitas about her experience at Dryland Traverse running into Kango Caves on the prologue. And take it away, Nicola.
So starting at the Kango Caves is incredibly special. It's really cool that you start just outside the caves and that you run straight in through the archway. And as soon as you're in, it just feels like you're in another world. And the dim lighting with all of the rock formations is incredible to see. I think it's important to actually just slow down a little bit and look up and take it all in. I loved it. It was quite wet in there. Dryland should consider renaming themselves Wetland. Please don't put that in. But incredibly beautiful. And here at the Hook, we nestled in the mountains. There's nothing around us. You can't see any other sign of civilization. The sun is setting. The sky is golden. It's incredible and it's so beautiful, and it just feels like you on holiday with peace and quiet. You can hear the birds, everyone's smiling, everyone's got so much gees. The Swartberg mountains are special and they're majestic and they just give you perspective when you sit here under them. Looking forward kind of to the next 3 days. I'm very scared for the next 2.
So Nicola, of course, is far more of a mountain biker, but got invited along by Dryland to take part in the Dryland Traverse, and we'll definitely check in with her after the race to find out how the running went. The stage 1 tomorrow is a big day. 30 odd kilometers running up the Swartberg Pass and then along the top of the Swartberg, where it's pretty rocky and technical running, and then a very technical descent down back to the race village at the Hook. So not one for the occasional trail runners, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm sure Nicola will have a great time out there. But if she doesn't, it'll make for a better story. Thank you very much for tuning in, and remember, you can read all the stories on diverge.info and follow along with the races on their handles. It's Wines2Whales and Dryland Traverse for the other one. See you next time.